a shot.
Man, I can't stand next to this guy. He's taller than me.
We can't stand him either. Thanks, folks. I'll be here all night.
I just met that guy like 2 minutes ago.
The thing that fascinates me about Ryan Laird is I know all 3 chords and you know 50 more. Talk about playing guitar.
Yeah.
Well, my parents gave me my first guitar when I was 7. And I started in classical piano, though, at age 5. And a couple of years after doing that, I realized I wanted to be a country rock star, I guess you could say. So I started playing guitar, and I wasn't very good. Chris Harding was better than me.
That's highly unlikely.
I knew a few chords and wrote a few crappy songs along the way, and kind of developed it over the years. Through my teens, I played in a lot of bands and just kept developing myself, and then I went off to Humber College to study jazz, and that's probably what you're referring to, because I started to learn some wacky chords, I guess you could say. And you know, my thing the last few years of developing myself since I moved down to Nashville, finding my sound, was sort of trying to find a thing I could do where I can use some of these chords in country music and get away with it. And I think I sort of did that in I'm Your Man. You know, there's definitely some, but it still sounds like a commercial radio country type of song, and it's got some of those chords in it, and that's always what I'm trying to do, and whether I'm successful at it or not, time will tell.
Ryan, let's keep on that theme, only because I find it fascinating, and especially since as a country fan, and a lot of country fans probably have run into that, where sometimes there are musicians or musical type people who will say country music isn't, you know, the most knowledgeable or most sort of fancy music, and there'll be jazz players who would maybe crap on country. You have the experience of both now, so talk to me about the differences, and is country music, I mean, is it a simpler music, or is it just different?
Well, I think it's 3 chords and the truth versus, you know, fitting as many notes as you can in 1 minute.
Just keep playing it all night, one song. Yeah.
But if you can find a happy meeting point of the two, then maybe you can get a sound that's unique, or just get something that works. And that's what I'm always experimenting with anyway, let's put it that way.
You want to take a shot there?
Just wondering what the thrill for you is, or if it's still there when you throw on a country radio station and you come on. What does it feel like inside to know that you're being played so widely?
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's always very exciting, even to see my mom's expression the first time she, you know, she came to tears actually. So, you know, to see, because I'm in it every day, you know, in Nashville and out on the road and stuff. You get kind of caught up in the everyday music business, and sometimes you forget how special it is and how cool it is. At least for myself, I've been working at this for 15 years, and just this last year I finally got to hear myself on the radio the first time, but it took a long time to get to that point. I remember being a kid dreaming about that kind of stuff, and you know, but you get caught up in it, and the everyday thing, and sometimes you just need to step back from it, I think, and kind of look at it and realize how cool it is. And when I saw my mom's reaction the first time she you know, heard the song on the radio, I sort of realized that, I think.
Yeah. Must have been a bit of a paradigm shift in your head, seeing your mom react.
I'm a little wacky though too. You know?
You talked about that image. What is it that you want people to take away from Ryan Laird?
I think they should take whatever they want to take. I mean, I'm just myself.
I'll take your wallet if.
Tens and twenties.
$5 maybe in there.
Yeah, but it's American.
More
that's
singles.
worth way more than
I really know. I've tried doing lots of things. I've tried to be, you know, different identities over the years, different styles of music, and I've realized the best thing to do is just be who I am. And I'm 27 years old now, and now I know who I am as a man right now. But maybe 5 years ago, you know, I put a billboard up and I did different things, you know, you guys know about, and that was me figuring out who I was, you know, and hopefully I'll talk to you if I still have a career in a few years down the road, and we'll talk again, and I'll have evolved even more, you know, into my 30s, maybe 5 years from now or something. So we'll see where I'm at, but right now I feel comfortable with the music I'm making, and singing about, you know, new love to come and love lost.
we put Kira on the spot about Taylor Swift. Talk about that. Talk about the billboard, because I think that's neat. It takes a lot of balls to put up a billboard like that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I know you guys have all heard the story before. I've said it lots, and it's just kind of, it was really something that I was trying to think of a way to be unique, just to get a little attention to myself so I could get people to listen to my music. And, you know, I'd been in Nashville about 5 years writing songs. I had a few hundred songs in the bank, and I still nobody really knew who I was. I just had my kind of group of writers that I like to write with, and was, you know, finding my sound and stuff. And when I felt I'd found what that sound was and figured out how to use a few of those chords in country music and stuff, at least I think, then I was like, how can I get some exposure? So it just came to me one day after I woke up. I was like, I'm just going to put a big billboard up and see what happens. And that's really how it came together. And you know, I think I like to say it's a high risk, high reward business. So
what did it say, the billboard?
It said, "Hey Taylor, I love your music. Will you produce my album, Ryan?"
Sweet.
It had my website on the bottom, and yeah, she go hear the tunes and stuff. And you know, she ended up talking about it on the news, and all that stuff just got me some media attention. And Mr. Kopnick here took notice, of course, and he was one of my first early believers. And so you know, over the last couple of years, we were able to put a deal together, and now I've got this opportunity to be releasing my own music, which is ultimately what was the purpose of the whole thing.
It would just maybe a good place to close is get you to maybe talk a little bit and a little bit on behalf of the other artists. We're all here because of Sony Music. Sony Music's decided to invest in Canadian talent, and you know, and I think it goes without saying that we're approached at radio by 1 million independent artists who would kill to have Sony Music showing them off here at this thing. So talk to me a little bit about that, because it's a pretty important relationship that we're, and that's the reason we're all here together.
Oh yeah, I mean, just talking about Warren and the whole Sony team, and everyone involved really in my camp now, we're all as important as the next guy, because we all have an identity in the team and a job to do, and my job's to write great songs and not stay up too late at night, and be able to perform. And Warren and his great team deliver it to you guys, and then I come out and meet you guys, and we have some fun and sing some songs and talk, and you know, it's really a collaborative team effort, and it's very exciting for me to be involved in something like that. I've waited my whole life to, and I'm glad it's happening now. As much as I wanted it to happen as a teenager, I'm glad it's happening now, because sometimes you only get one first impression, right? So, yeah.
I was just wondering, aside from putting up the billboard sooner, looking back on the last 15 years, and obviously there's been probably times where you were ridden hard and put away wet, some tough times, some easier times. If you had to look in the rearview mirror and speak to somebody, say, about Kira's age, and tell her one thing not to do that you did, that you learned the hard way, that you'd like nobody else to learn, what would it be?
Well, she seems very mature for
even more mature than Ryan at this point. Yeah.
And a great singer too. But well, you know, get your education along the way, you know, and she should be listening to her parents and her manager, and Warren knows too. I think she's set up pretty good right now. She seems like she has a good head on her shoulders. So. Don't let me corrupt her.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Ryan.
So, I think.